Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto I.O., the place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host. Let's rock and rizzle. State Senator pushes bill to make Bitcoin legal tender in Arizona. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz pushes for crypto in Congress using snacks. U.S. institutions account for 85% of Bitcoin buying in very positive sign. Let's do it. Bitcoin. Guys, not much has changed. Some ups, some downs, starting to range. From this big pump we had, 2 days ago now? Up to the 23,789 level. We're starting to form this kind of flaggish, wedge-ish formation thing, bouncing down for support over here, down at the 22,550. Let's see what it looks like in a 4 hour, y'all. All right, so here's what we got going on. 4 hour is, like I said in the last couple of videos, been telling the better story of what the price action looks like. To me, we are ranging, guys. This is a perfect flag range setup. Top, bottom, top, bottom, top. Messing around, and then bottom, top. So what I'm looking at is, if you're playing the swings, this is actually a really simple pattern to trade. But play the swings, see where we can go. You know, we keep hitting, like I said, this 22.5, 30, 22.5, 24 level, and then this kind of downward sloping wedge-ish kind of pattern over here at the where are we at right now? This $23,000, 23.1 level. All right. Again, just keep your eye on this, guys. The fear is because it's starting to look bearish. If you look down here too, we've got a huge bearish divergence right down here that could send us back down into this range of the 21,365. Again, just keep your eyes on it, guys. If you are trading, if you're playing the swings on this, getting your scalps in or whatever, tight stop losses, man. If we break this, and then the last bit of support I'm seeing because of all these heavily bought up wicks, this 22,336 level, I would stop loss right around there, maybe just below it, because you know, if it hits, it bounces back up, which it has been doing. You don't want to get stopped out, so probably just below this guy. So I'd probably put a stop loss somewhere in here around the 2280 or 22,280, excuse me. And play the swings that way. Again, just be smart, trade conservatively. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, yada, yada, yada. What does Ethereum look like? Ethereum, kind of doing the same thing. This looks like a kind of like a bull trap, and then we're ranging, right? But what I'm actually kind of seeing now that I'm looking at, this is on the daily. We'll go over the 4 hour in just a second. What I am seeing here is you're forming kind of a wedge here, right, with the price action. And bear with me, y'all, as I draw these in. So if you're looking at this as a pattern and something you're trying to create a story out of, and again, this is a daily, so these moves are going to be a little bit different. Ethereum needs to make a decision based off of what we're looking at right here. Could go up, could go down, but it's time for Ethereum to make a decision. So let's look at it on the 4 hour. Let's back it out a little bit. We'll adjust this to fit a little bit better for the 4 hour time frame. So if you see that too on the 4 hour, you're getting a nasty big red blood diamond, which could mean one of two things. It could mean that this is already played out, or it could potentially go lower, because we're on the 4 hour. Sometimes these take a little bit longer to play out. So I would put this right about here if I'm looking at the 4 hour. And again, it's getting tight. Eventually, it's going to have to make a decision. If you're playing this wedge, Ethereum needs to make the decision. Is it going to break up? Is it going to break down? I don't know. Just play it that way. Keep an eye on it. Our ribbons have now gone dark. That means we're going into a potential bearish trend. Just things to think about, guys. There's something I was taught a long time ago when I was looking at charts and learning how to trade, is you don't just look at one pattern and make one decision off of one pattern. What you're doing is you'll hear me reference this a lot, is you're reading a book, and what story is that book telling you, and how much evidence is leading up to give you the climax of that story, right? If you've got patterns that look like they're going to break down, if you've got ribbons that are turning dark, if you've got blood diamonds, if you've got, bearish divergences, etc., showing up, these are all just evidence that are leading in a certain direction, right? And the more and more evidence you have while you're reading this story and putting the characters and pieces of this puzzle of the story together in your head, what does the outcome start to look like, right? So it's just something to think about, and I know that's kind of a really weird way of looking at it, but it is. We're reading. We're looking at charts, and we're going, okay, what are we looking at? How many things are pointing in a certain direction? How many different indicators, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just, like I said, food for thought. Again, I'm spending way too much time on charts. Not a trading channel, guys. Not financial advice. But just making you guys aware of what we're looking at. To me, my personal opinion, I'm looking for a correction. This is looking like correction territory, which makes sense. I think Bitcoin is up somewhere around near 40% last month, which just, look, we're still in a bear market. I think that people will take profits. We are going into the weekend. You guys know how that goes. I do not trade weekends. I watch the fiasco from the sidelines going, that's crazy. I don't have the risk tolerance for it. I can't handle it. Either way, trade at your own risk, guys. Per usual, tight stop losses, trade conservatively, be smart. Moving on to the news. State senator pushes bill to make Bitcoin legal tender in Arizona. Wendy Rogers, an Arizona state senator in the United States, has launched bills concerning cryptocurrency, including one that aims to make Bitcoin legal tender in Arizona. In a recent tweet, Rogers cited data from investment firm Goldman Sachs that BTC is the best performing asset in the world, and announced that she launched a set of crypto bills. And here is her tweet and her files for the bills, I'm assuming. If you want to follow this, go ahead and follow her on Twitter and read up on this. One of the proposed bills focuses on making BTC legal tender in the United States. If passed into law, BTC will have the same status as the US dollar, becoming an accepted medium of exchange for debt payment, public charges, taxes, and dues in the state. In 2022, the state senator also introduced a similar bill without success. Despite this, Rogers still continues efforts to push BTC forward in the state. In April of 2022, Rogers spoke against central banks and voiced her support for Bitcoin. And here's that tweet. Moving on. Apart from this, Rogers also participated in introducing a bill that seeks to make crypto a tax-exempt property. We read that yesterday. If approved, voters can decide, or day before yesterday, excuse me, voters can decide if 2024, if they want tokens that do not represent foreign currencies in US dollar to be exempt from taxes. On September 7th of 2021, El Salvador officially made Bitcoin legal tender in the country. More than a year later, making Bitcoin legal tender in the country proved beneficial. El Salvador experienced increased tourism in 2022, with 1.1 million people visiting the country in the first half of the year. On January 22nd, Brazil and Argentina announced preparations to create a common currency parallel to Brazilian real and the Argentine peso. Responding to this, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong suggested that moving to Bitcoin may be the right long-term bet for both countries. What do you guys think about this? I personally don't see Bitcoin as the daily transactional currency. It's hard for me to get behind the idea of spending an appreciating asset, right? Like, you're just on the daily, like. But I mean, it is a move in the right direction. Again, let me know what you guys think. Comments down below. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Are you a Bitcoin maxi? Are you not? Do you think Bitcoin's a worthless piece of garbage? Who knows? Let me know. Moving on. The U.S. is all over the news today. So U.S. Senator Ted Cruz pushes for crypto in Congress using snacks. What? Let's see what this is about. A newly introduced resolution could potentially see lawmakers buying sodas and chips using crypto supporting vending machines. All right. Okay. Before I get any deeper into this story, which is probably going to be a waste of our time, these are the people that we vote in office. Now, I'm all for them being for crypto. You know, whatever you think about Ted Cruz, whatever. I'm all for that. But this sounds dumb. It sounds so dumb. Chips and soda machines. Oh, America, I love you, but I'm so baffled so many times. Let's read the article. Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz is pushing the United States Congress to adopt cryptocurrency within its halls using an assumption both sides might agree on. Food. That's it. That's what they agree on. That's all it takes. Word. Cruz introduced a concurrent resolution dated January 25th that would only allow vending machine and food service contractors to accept crypto as a payment option within the U.S. Capitol. If adopted, the architect of the Capitol, the Secretary of the Senate, and the Chief Administrative Officer of the House of Representatives would be required to fine the crypto-accepting food and vending firms. At the time of writing, the text of the resolution was not publicly available on the Congress website. It's unknown the potential cost of implementing the measure. They're going to use your tax dollars to do it, by the way. Or if the resolution would require contractors to take payment in certain cryptocurrencies. Cointelegraph contacted Cruz's office to comment, but did not immediately receive a response. Frickin' weird. Cruz has long been a vocal advocate for cryptocurrencies, especially lauding Bitcoin for its decentralization. At roughly this time last year, the senator bought between $15,000 and $50,000 worth of BTC, according to a financial disclosure. He is one of only 8 known crypto investors in Congress, according to the Bitcoin politicians' crowdsourced data project. This list also includes Cynthia Loomis, the Wyoming senator behind a pro-crypto piece of legislation, and Pat Toomey, a Pennsylvania senator who recently introduced a stablecoin bill aiming to create a regulatory framework for payments. Senator Cruz also had signaled his interest to make his home state of Texas an oasis for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, saying crypto mining could be used to monetize the energy from oil and gas extractions, and the activity may be used as an alternate way of storing energy. The resolution put forward by Cruz will need to be agreed to in both the Senate and the House before it can be adopted, just like anything. I don't know. This article seems like a waste of time again. But whatever, they're talking about crypto in Congress, which is a good sign for adoption. Just a really weird way of implementing it. Vending machines so they can buy their trash while they're using our tax dollars to push bullshit laws. All right, moving on. I'm an idiot, guys. Don't pay attention to me. U.S. institutions account for 85% of Bitcoin buying in quote-unquote very positive sign. Matrix Port's head of research and strategy suggests the industry will soon see Layer 1 and other altcoins outperforming relative to Bitcoin. Institutional investors are not giving up on crypto, with recent data pointing to as much as 85% of Bitcoin buying being the result of American institutional players, according to Matrix Port's chief strategist. Marcus Thielen, Samsonite, the head of research and strategy at the financial service firm, told Cointelegraph the evidence shows that institutions are not giving up on crypto and is an indicator that we might be entering a new crypto bull market now. The data was shared in a January 27th report from Matrixport, which suggests that it can be distinguished whether a digital asset is more favorable by retail or institutional investors at any given time based on whether that asset is performing well in the United States or Asian trading hours. The report stated that if an asset that trades 24 hours performs well during U.S. trading hours, it indicates that U.S. institutions are buying it, while as an asset that sees growth during Asian trading hours indicates that Asian retail investors are buying it. Interesting. The report cited that Bitcoin is up 40% this year, with 35% of those returns occurring during U.S. trading hours, meaning there is an 85% contribution associated with U.S.-based investors, indicating that U.S. institutions are buyers of Bitcoin right now. showing the fear and greed index at a 55. Blah, blah, blah. Thailand added that previous data shows that institutions typically first start buying Bitcoin before investing in other cryptocurrencies, he noted. While the report highlighted that news regarding other projects positively impacted token prices such as Lido DAO and Aptos, the crypto rally only started once the US inflation data was released on January 12th. It was also mentioned that ETH appears to be performing well during US hours, indicating institutional flows into the cryptocurrency. However, APT is doing well around the clock. The report concluded that this should be a very positive sign for Bitcoin as institutional adoption continues. In earlier comments to Cointelegraph, economist Lynn Alden believes that Bitcoin is currently playing a bit of a catch-up, getting back to where it would have been without the FTX collapse occurring. Alden warned that there's considerable danger ahead for the second half of 2023, citing liquidity conditions being good right now, partly because of the U.S. as a significant factor. Alden explained that the U.S. Treasury is drawing down its cash balance to keep the country's debt levels low. It pushes liquidity into the financial system. Meanwhile, popular trader and market commentator TechDev posted a Twitter updated on January 26, showing the price correlation between Bitcoin and gold, stating that if Bitcoin continues to follow the price of gold, it might even crack the $50,000 mark. I do not think that's going to happen in 2023, guys. Let's be real. All right. I don't know. It's jibber jabber in my opinion, guys. I think we've got some sideways action for quite some time. I think that if we continue to see that the 15,000, whatever we hit, 15.4, something like that, was the bottom, we could slowly move sideways while slowly ticking up by the end of the year, possibly around the $30,000 range. But that is on the high end. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with being wrong if we go up higher. Outside of that, guys, before I wrap up the video this Friday, just a heads up, be aware, guys, there's a lot of crypto channels out there, a lot of big ones, that now that we have some bullish momentum in the market and people are starting to look at the market again, eyes are starting to turn back on to crypto, there's a lot of quote unquote crypto influencers out there doing price prediction videos. Take that shit with a grain or several of salt, y'all. Price prediction, in my opinion, on, altcoins, Bitcoin, whatever, it's super clickbaity. It's just to get views, y'all. Look, nobody knows what prices are going to do. Think about if you've been here since if you've been here since 2020, at the kickoff of our last bull cycle we just went through, every single influencer that I know of in the space said Bitcoin was going to hit 300K. Guys, we didn't get anywhere close to that. We didn't even break 100K. So, without getting too much into it, don't get sucked into the hype. Be smart. Pay attention to charts. Pay attention to the news. Trade conservatively. Do not get into a project going, this project is for sure going to 100x or whatever they're telling you it's going to do. Don't do that. If it does pop off, by all means, take profit on the way up. A little story. Guys, when I trade, I usually look for about a 30% to 40% profit margin, and I get out. I might leave a little bit of scraps just in case it runs hard, whatever. But it's just how I trade. It's the way I've been able to keep myself safe. I learned back in 2017 that the hype train on coins, you get wrecked, man. You get super wrecked. Some take off, some don't. So to finish the story, I got into Sol. God, when Sol was at like $10, I made 30%, 35% on my trade, and I got out. Well, it ran to like, what was like $200 or something stupid like that. Did it suck? Yeah. I mean, watching that the FOMO is rough, but I also know that there's other trades out there, and there will always be other trades out there. I'm the conservative trader guy, y'all. I don't know what to say. So with these influencers coming out with all these price predictions, take it with a grain of salt. Don't get all FOMO'd out. Don't get all crazy. It's, in my opinion, it's bottom feeder shit. So aside from that, guys, per usual, if you do enjoy the content that I provide on this channel, please, by all means, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for notifications. Like the videos. Share the videos. And go out and enjoy your weekend. Be careful. It is a weekend. Shit gets volatile. Yeah. And I'll see you guys bright and early Monday morning. I'm out of here.